The fork slipped from Michael's hand, clattering against the porcelain plate like a gunshot in the hushed room. "I'm not hiding anymore," Brandon said, his voice cracking the air as he rose, the silk of his dress whispering against the chair legs. Across the table, their mother's eyes widened in horror, but Michael's world narrowed to the brother he'd idolized, the one who'd bandaged his scraped knees and shared stolen beers under starlit Midwest skies. Now a stranger in crimson, unraveling the only family they'd ever known. Michael's pulse thundered in his ears as the dining room clock ticked mercilessly, each second stretching the silence into something brittle, ready to snap. The scent of roasted turkey and cranberry sauce hung heavy, a mockery of the Norman Rockwell holiday their mom had clung to since Dad walked out 15 years ago. Aunt Clara's mouth gaped like a landed fish, Uncle Ray's fork hovered mid-air, and Cousin Jenny, barely 16 and scrolling her phone under the table, finally looked up, her braces glinting in the candlelight. But Michael's gaze stayed glued to Brandon, his stepbrother, the kid who'd been his anchor since they were 8, now towering in that dress like some defiant queen from a fever dream. "Brandon, what the hell is this?" Mom's voice sliced through first, sharp as the carving knife she'd set aside. Her hands trembled as she gripped the tablecloth, knuckles whitening. She'd aged a decade in seconds, her perm frizzing under the strain, the lines around her eyes deepening from years of double shifts at the diner in their sleepy Indiana town. Brandon didn't flinch. He smoothed the fabric over his hips, a simple A-line number in deep red, thrift store find with a subtle shimmer, and met her stare head-on. "It's me, Mom. The real me. I've been lying to you, to all of you, for too long. I'm gay. And this," he gestured to the dress, a faint smile ghosting his lips, bitter as black coffee. "This is just the cherry on top. Call it my coming out Sunday." Laughter bubbled up in Michael, unbidden and hysterical, but it died in his throat when he saw the hurt flash in Brandon's eyes. Hurt aimed at him, because of all people, Michael should have known. They shared a bedroom wall growing up, whispered secrets through the plaster late into the night. Michael, the golden boy, varsity quarterback, now a mechanic at the local Ford dealership, had always been the protector. Brandon, the artist, the dreamer with charcoal-smudged fingers, and a sketchbook full of forbidden fantasies, had been the heart. Without Dad, who'd bolted for a fresh start in California with some cocktail waitress, they'd forged their own brotherhood in the ashes. Fishing poles in the Wabash River, stolen Marlboros behind the grain silo, promises to stick together no matter what. But Michael hadn't known. Or maybe he had, and buried it deep, like the ache in his chest whenever Brandon's laugh lit up a room. No, that was something else. Something he shoved down with beers and one-night stands with girls from the bar, the kind that left him hollow. He was straight. He had to be. For Mom. For the family name etched on the mailbox. Hargrove. "Son," Uncle Ray rumbled, his burly frame shifting uncomfortably in the creaky oak chair. "This ain't the time or place. Sit down. Eat your damn pie. We can talk later." "There's no later," Brandon shot back, his voice gaining steel. "I've waited 24 years for now. You think I wanted this? Parading around like some fairy tale reject at Thanksgiving? But hiding it was killing me." Piece by piece, Aunt Clara crossed herself, muttering a prayer under her breath, while Jenny whispered furiously into her phone, "OMG, my cousin's in a dress lol," the betrayal stinging sharper than any slap. Michael wanted to lunge across the table, yank Brandon back into the shadows of who he used to be. the lanky teen in baggy jeans, belting out Springsteen with him in the old Chevy pickup. But his legs felt leaden, rooted to the floorboards their granddad had laid before the cancer took him. Michael! Brandon's plea hung there, soft now, just for him. Their eyes locked, hazel on hazel, mirrors of the same lost boyhood, and Michael saw it all. The late-night tears Brandon thought he hid, the way he'd flinch at Dad's old hunting photos on the mantel, the sketches Michael had glimpsed once, crumpled in the trash, of lithe figures entwined in impossible grace. Michael's throat closed. Say something. Fix this. But the words curdled. Instead, he stood, chair scraping like nails on chalkboard. I need air. He bolted for the back door, the screen slamming behind him, cold November wind slapping his face like judgment. The yard stretched dark and empty, the swing set from their childhood rusted and forgotten under the oak tree. Michael sank onto the porch steps, head in hands, the muffled chaos from inside filtering out. Mom's sobs, Uncle Ray's booming reassurances, Brandon's voice rising in defense. How had it come to this? Rewind 20 years, Mom. Widowed young after a car wreck. No. Wait. Divorced. But she'd always called it worse. Marrying Ray's brother fresh out of community college. Brandon, 5 then, with his mop of curls and wide eyes, stepping into their cramped ranch house like a stray pup. Michael, 7 and furious at the intrusion, had thrown a tantrum that ended with him sharing his room. But Brandon's quiet resilience won him over, building forts from couch cushions, trading baseball cards under flashlight beams, vowing eternal alliance against the world's cruelties. Dad's abandonment had sealed it. One letter, postmarked L.A., and gone. Men leave, Mom would say, her voice laced with bourbon. But we endure, and they had. Michael aced shop class, fixed her leaky faucet at 14. Brandon drew her portraits, captured her rare smiles on canvas. They were the Hargrove boys, unbreakable. Until tonight. Footsteps crunched gravel. Michael didn't look up. Go back in, Bran. They're your blood. You're mine too. Brandon settled beside him, the dress pooling like spilled wine on the frosted grass. Close. Michael saw the seams, faint mascara smudges, a safety pin holding the bodice. Vulnerability wrapped in rebellion. I didn't plan the dress. It just fit. Felt right. Like shedding skin. Michael risked a glance, heart twisting. You could have warned me. Jesus, Bran, it's Thanksgiving. Mom's been planning this since Labor Day. And what? Let another year slide? Another holiday where I smile through the lump in my throat. Brandon's laugh was hollow. I love you, Mike. You're the only one who gets it, the dad-shaped hole. But I can't fill it by pretending anymore. Love. The word landed like a spark on dry tinder. Michael's mind reeled to last summer. The county fair, Brandon's arm slung casual over his shoulder, the brush of stubble against his neck during a drunken hug. Heat he'd dismissed as booze. But now, I get it, he lied, voice rough. But this is gonna break her. Break us. Brandon's hand found his, warm and calloused from easel work. Then we'll glue the pieces. We always have. Inside, voices peaked. Mom calling for Michael. Uncle Ray suggesting a man's talk. Brandon squeezed once, then stood, the wind tugging at his hem like an insistent lover. Coming? He asked, silhouette ethereal against the porch light. Michael rose, steeling himself. For Brandon. For the brother he'd die for. But as they re-entered the fray, something shifted, a crack in his own facade, whispering questions he'd long ignored. The dress wasn't just Brandon's unraveling. It was the thread pulling at Michael's seams too. The rest of dinner blurred into damage control. Forced small talk over pumpkin pie, Jenny's awkward selfies, Aunt Clara's averted eyes. By 10, the relatives trickled out, leaving the Hargrove trio in wreckage. Mom retreated to her room with a bottle of Merlot, door clicking shut like a guillotine. Michael and Brandon cleaned in silence, plates clinking accusations. "You crashing here?" Michael finally asked, drying a glass with more force than needed. Brandon nodded, unclasping a necklace, fake pearls, another thrift score, and letting it dangle from his fingers. "If that's cool. Don't want to Uber in this getup." "Always." Michael forced a grin, but it wobbled. Upstairs, he lay awake, ceiling fan whirring like white noise for his racing thoughts. Brandon's snores filtered through the wall, softer now, laced with exhaustion. Michael rolled over, staring at the faded pennant from his high school championship, the glory days, when life was tackles and touchdowns, not this emotional minefield. Sleep came fitful, dreams tangled with crimson silk and absent fathers. Morning broke gray, coffee brewing as Mom shuffled in, eyes puffy but makeup armored on. "We need to talk," she said, not meeting their gazes as they sat at the scarred Formica table. Brandon beat Michael to it. "I'm sorry for the shock, Mom. But not for who I am," she sighed, stirring sugar into her mug with mechanical precision. I wanted normal for you boys. After your father. Dad was a coward," Michael cut in, surprising himself. "Left us for normal in sunny Cali. We're not him." Mom's lips thinned. "This isn't about him. It's about family. What people will say. The church picnic next month." "Screw the picnic," Brandon said gently. "Love me as I am. Or don't. But I'm done faking." The air thickened, but Michael's chest loosened. For the first time, he saw Mom not as the unbreakable matriarch, but a woman adrift, clinging to traditions like life rafts. "Give her time," he murmured to Brandon later, as they shoveled the driveway, snow falling soft and forgiving. Time. They stretched ahead, uncertain. Work called, Michael wrenching on carburetors, grease under nails a welcome distraction. Brandon holed up in his studio apartment downtown, canvases blooming with bold strokes, figures in flux, dresses defying gravity. Texts pinged sporadic. "Miss you, bro. Pie for Christmas?" But the fracture lingered. Whispers at the garage. "Heard your brother's gone Hollywood queer." Stung like antifreeze burns. Michael defended with fists clenched. But inside, doubt festered. Who was he? Really? The straight arrow son? Or something shadowed, stirred by Brandon's courage? 2 weeks post-Thanksgiving, fate or irony intervened at O'Malley's, the dive bar on the edge of town. Michael nursed a bud, the jukebox crooning Johnny Cash, when the door swung open, admitting a stranger who turned heads. Tall, lean, with tousled auburn hair and a leather jacket slung over broad shoulders. "Alex," he introduced himself, a photographer from Chicago, in for a shoot on Rust Belt Revival. "Buy you a drink?" Alex's smile crinkled green eyes, voice carrying a city lilt that cut through the smoke. Michael hesitated, pulse skittering. Girls hit on him plenty, but this felt electric. Sure. Why not? One beer became 3. Stories flowing easy. Alex's freelance gigs. Michael's oil-stained epics. Laughter bridged the gap. And when Alex's knee brushed his under the bar, Michael didn't pull away. Heat bloomed, unfamiliar and thrilling. Just bros hanging, he rationalized. But his body betrayed him, leaning in. By closing time, they stumbled into the lot, frost nipping at their heels. Your place, Alex murmured, breath warm against Michael's ear. Heart hammering, Michael nodded. The drive blurred, hands wandering on gear shifts. In the dim of his trailer, bachelor pad off Route 41, clothes shed like secrets. Alex's touch was fire, lips mapping collarbones, fingers tracing ribs, a rhythm that shattered Michael's denials. Gay? No, curious. Experimental. But as dawn crept in, Alex curled against him, murmuring stay. Michael clung back, the lie crumbling. Guilt crashed over Michael like a hangover the next morning, sunlight slicing through the blinds like accusatory fingers. Alex stirred, freckles dusting his nose like cinnamon, a lazy grin splitting his face. Morning, handsome. Coffee? Yeah, Michael croaked, bolting upright, sheets tangling around his waist. The trailer smelled of sweat and regret, his queen bed unmade, tools scattered on the dresser like evidence. What the hell had he done? One night with a guy, a hot, funny guy who'd made him feel seen, not just tolerated, and now the world tilted. Alex padded to the kitchenette, naked as Adam, humming off-key to the radio's static Y country station. Michael watched, mesmerized by the flex of his back, the casual grace. This is fine, he told himself, pulling on boxers. Just blowing off steam. Brothers do that. But when Alex handed him a mug black, 2 sugars, just right, their fingers brushed, and Michael's stomach flipped. Last night was. Alex trailed off, eyes searching. Intense, Michael supplied, forcing a chuckle. Good intense. Relief softened Alex's features. Thought maybe I spooked you. Indiana boys can be skittish. Nah. I'm open-minded. But the truth stuck like gum on a shoe. They parted with a kiss soft, lingering at the door. Alex's number scrawled on a napkin. Call me. Chicago's only 4 hours. His truck rumbled off, leaving Michael staring at the empty road, phone burning in his pocket. Work dragged, transmissions whining, fluorescent lights buzzing judgment. Coworkers ribbed him about his glow. Get lucky last night, Mikey? And he laughed it off. But inside, panic brewed. Text Brandon? Confess? No. The dress still haunted him, a symbol of irreversible change. Instead, he drove to Mom's, the family home, a squat brick sentinel against the snow-dusted fields. She was in the kitchen, apron dusted with flour, rolling dough for Christmas cookies like nothing had shattered. Help yourself, she said, nodding to the cooling rack. Her smile was brittle, eyes avoiding his. How's Bran? Michael grabbed a snickerdoodle, the cinnamon sugar sticking to his lips. Mom's hands stilled. Haven't heard. Probably painting rainbows in that loft of his. Bitterness laced her tone, but underneath, fear raw, maternal. He's your son, Michael said quietly, echoing Brandon's plea from that night. And you're mine, she snapped, slamming the rolling pin down. Blood or not, I raised you both. Fought for this house when your father, Dad bailed. Bran's not bailing. He's fighting to be real. Her eyes welled. Real? Strutting in a dress? The neighbors talk. Michael. Church group asked if we're hosting a drag show now. Anger flared. So what? Let em talk. He's happier than he's been in years. Is he? Mom's voice cracked. Or is he throwing away everything for attention? Michael's retort died. Tension? No authenticity. The word echoed Alex's laugh. The press of skin. He fled to the garage. Dad's old toolbox, a relic of ghosts. Rifling through sockets, he found a photo, him and Brandon at 12. Gap-toothed grins. Arms slung in solidarity by the river. Brothers. What would Dad say now? Nothing, he'd left that answer blank. That night, Michael's thumb hovered over Alex's contact. Hey. Thinking about you. Sent. Response buzzed instant. Ditto. Road trip soon? The flirtation snowballed. Late-night calls dissecting Springsteen lyrics. Alex's photos pinging urban grit. Golden hour portraits that made Michael's chest ache with envy and want. Come to Chicago, Alex urged during one. Voice husky over speakerphone. My bed's too big without you. Temptation gnawed. But Indiana roots ran deep. Mom's expectant glances. The garage's familiar clang. And Brandon, radio silence from him. A void Michael filled with worry. Finally, on a sleet-lashed December afternoon, he caved. Driving the I-65 north. Wipers slapping rhythm like a heartbeat. Brandon's loft squatted in South Bend's Arts District. A converted mill with exposed brick and canvases leaning like dominoes. The door swung open to chaos. Turpentine fumes. Half-eaten takeout. Brandon in paint-splattered overalls. Hair tied back with a bandana. Mike! His hug was fierce. Paint transferring to Michael's jacket like war wounds. Missed you. Idiot. Michael pulled back. Scanning for signs. The dress folded on a chair. A rainbow flag thumbtacked crooked. Mom's. Processing. Brandon snorted, leading him to a sagging couch. Processing means ignoring my texts. But hey, art pays the bills. He gestured to a wall. Abstracts swirling in reds and golds. Figures emerging from shadow, embraces, glances, unspoken yearnings. These are killer, Michael said. Genuine awe cutting the awkwardness. One caught him, two silhouettes, hands almost touching, lit by a dying sunset. This you, us, kinda. Brandon shrugged, vulnerability flickering. Brothers in the dark, guilt twisted. Michael sank beside him, words tumbling. That night, I froze. Should have had your back sooner. You did. By existing. Brandon's hand clapped his shoulder. Brotherly, steadying. Now spill. What brings the prodigal wrench to my lair? Girl troubles. Michael's laugh barked too loud. Something like that. Beer cans cracked open. Stories flowed. Brandon confessed the dress's genesis. A underground drag show in Bloomington. The rush of applause. The armor of sequins against small-town stares. It's not every day. Just freedom. And yeah, I'm seeing this guy, Theo. Barista with tattoos and a poetry habit. Gay as a picnic basket. Proud of you, Michael murmured, meaning it. The admission unlocked his own dam. Met someone too. Alex. Photographer. From the city. Brandon's eyes lit. Details. Hargrove. Is he hung? Jesus. Bran. But laughter bubbled, easing the knot. Over greasy pizza, Michael sketched the bar meet cute, The trailer's heat, skirting the labels. Guy, not boyfriend. Brandon listened, nodding, his acceptance a bomb. Bring him around, Brandon said as Michael rose to leave, sleet turning to flurries outside. Mom'll come around. Or we start our own damn holiday. The drive home blurred with revelation's glow. Michael texted Alex, Chicago next weekend. Pack your lens. Reply, and my heart. Red heart. Christmas Eve dawned crisp. The house strung with lights. Mom had hung solo, her silence a fragile truce. Brandon arrived fashionably late. No dress but a subtle earring glinting, a silver hoop, defiant sparkle. Gifts exchanged. Michael's leather wallet for Brandon, a sketch of their childhood swing set from him. Mom watched, lips pressed, but joined the toast. To family, she whispered, clinking glasses. No one specified whose. Post-dinner, Michael slipped out for a call. Alex's voice wrapped around him like wool. Merry Christmas, Indy. Dreaming of your hands. Heat flushed. Soon. Promise. But fate's curveball landed midnight. A knock at the door. Uncle Ray, snow-dusted, face grim. Your ma called. Church elders heard about Brandon. They're pulling donations for the youth group unless we set him straight. Michael's blood iced. Straight? He's not a bent nail. Ray shifted, boots dripping melt. Family meeting tomorrow. Neutral ground. Bring the boy. Betrayal soured the eggnog's aftertaste. Mom, trading love for piety? Michael stormed inside, finding her folding napkins, eyes downcast. You sicked Ray on us? I didn't, she faltered. They're helping. Counseling. For Brandon's soul. Soul? He's your son. Fury boiled. Dad left us hollow. You gonna finish the job? Her slap echoed, palm stinging his cheek. Don't you dare compare. I stayed. Fought. This is fighting too. Brandon, witnessing from the hall, face ashen, grabbed his coat. I'm out. He fled into the night, taillights vanishing into whiteout. Michael chased, but the truck spun gravel. Alone with Mom's sobs, he packed a bag. Dawn found him at Brandon's loft, pounding the door. Let me in. Damn it. Creaked open. Brandon hollow-eyed, a half-packed duffel at his feet. Go home, Mike. Save your halo. No. Michael shouldered in, slamming the door. We're in this. Together. Like always. Brandon collapsed onto the couch, head in hands. Theo dumped me. Said the drama's too much. And Mom. God, I thought she'd fight for me. She will. But fierce. Michael pulled him into a hug, backs padded rough. Or we make our own fight. In that raw huddle, Michael's phone buzzed. Alex. Heard about the family blow-up. Drive safe. I'm here. Chicago called. A beacon. Pack light, Michael said. Road trip. My treat. Brandon's laugh choked wet. To where? Oz. Better. Reality. They hit the highway at noon. I-90 eastbound. Radio blasting Motown to drown the ache. Snow thinned to slush. Billboards flashing promise. Outlet malls. Diners. Glimpses of Lake Michigan's steel-gray vastness. Brandon sketched roadside motels on napkins. Michael gripped the wheel. Alex's texts a lifeline, rooms ready. Beers on ice. Chicago swallowed them whole. Skyscrapers clawing sky. L trains rumbling like urban thunder. Alex waited curbside at the hostel, scarf loose around his neck, grin splitting the dusk. The cavalry arrives. Introductions crackled. Brandon's wary handshake, Alex's easy charm. Over deep dish pizza in a Wrigleyville hole-in-the-wall, walls crumbled. Alex shared his own coming-out war stories, disowned at 19, couchsurfing to survival. Family's what you build, not birthright. Brandon softened, eyes bright. You're all right? Shutterbug. Nights blurred. Gallery crawls where Brandon's art found admirers. Alex's lens capturing their thawing trio. Michael's reluctant smile in a snow globe park. Brandon's earring catching neon. One evening, post-hot toddies in Alex's studio apartment. Exposed brick. Prints pinned like trophies. Tension simmered. Brandon crashed on the futon, leaving Michael and Alex tangled in flannel sheets. You're different here, Alex whispered, fingers tracing Michael's jaw. Freer. Scared, Michael admitted, voice muffled against Alex's chest. Hair there tickled his nose, grounding. But good scared. Their rhythm deepened. Slow mornings with diner hash, afternoons wandering the Art Institute, Monet's blurring into Brandon's fevered sketches. Yet undercurrents pulled, voicemails from Mom, pleading, then accusatory. Come home. Fix this. Uncle Ray's texts, counseling works wonders. Don't throw it away. Betrayal festered when Michael checked his bank app. Mom had frozen his account. For his own good. Leverage, Brandon spat, face thunderous. Like Dad's ghost pulling strings. Rage propelled them to a New Year's bash in Boys Town. Rainbow flags snapping in wind, bass thumping from clubs. Brandon donned the dress, crimson reborn, paired with boots and danced like exorcism, sweat slick and radiant. Michael watched from the bar, beer forgotten, a pull in his gut not envy, but pride laced with something sharper. Alex sidled up, hand on his hip. Your brother's a force. Yeah, Michael breathed, turning into the kiss public, unapologetic. Eyes on them, but for once, he didn't care. Midnight confetti rained, Auld Lang Syne warbling. Brandon pulled them into a three-way hug, tears mixing with glitter. To us, he toasted with a stolen champagne flute. Screw the Hargroves. But dawn brought reckoning. A call from Jenny. Grandma's sick. Heart stuff. Mom's a wreck. Needs you both. Duty's hook sank deep. Chicago's magic dimmed. Reality's gray encroaching. We go, Michael decided, Alex nodding solemn. But on our terms. The drive south dragged, silence heavy as lead. Indiana welcomed with barren trees, the Wabash frozen over. Home loomed. The ranch house lit dim, Mom's silhouette in the window like a sentinel. The hospital room smelled of antiseptic and wilted poinsettias, monitors beeping a mechanical lullaby. Grandma Hargrove lay small in the bed, tubes snaking like vines, her silver hair fanned on the pillow. 87 and fierce as ever, chain-smoking widow who'd outlived 2 husbands and a stillborn son. She cracked an eye at their entrance. "'Bout time, you prodigal punks." Brandon's laugh broke first, watery. "Hey, Graham. We brought contraband." He produced a flask from his coat, bourbon, her vice earning a conspiratorial wink. Mom hovered in the corner, arms crossed, face a roadmap of exhaustion. Her gaze flicked to Brandon's jeans and hoodie armor, then Michael's rumpled flannel, Alex trailing like a polite shadow. "Alex," she said stiffly, extending a hand. The friend. Pleasure, Alex replied, charm dialed smooth. Heard stories. All good. I hope, she hummed non-committal, but softened when Grandma rasped. This the one keeping my boy smiling? Good. Michael needs joy too much like his daddy. Brooding. The words landed like shrapnel. Dad's shadow loomed eternal. But tonight, in this sterile limbo, felt smaller. They pulled chairs close, tails weaving. Grandma's prohibition bootlegging yarns. Brandon's Chicago escapades sanitized for her ears. Mom listened, thawing inch by inch, her hand finding Brandon's knee. I called the church off, she murmured during a quiet spell. Told Ray to shove his pamphlets. Brandon stilled. Why? Because you're my blood. Tears tracked her cheeks. I was scared. Of losing you like him, Dad. Unspoken, but thunderous. Forgive, Michael asked, voice thick, bridging the chasm. She nodded, pulling them into a huddle, awkward with Alex peripheral, but real. Grandma watched, proving. Now kiss and make up proper. Life's too damn short for grudges. Discharge came Christmas morning, a miracle wrapped in Jell-O cups. Home buzzed tentative. Stockings hung fresh, ham sizzling. Alex charmed with photo tips for Jenny, who arrived starry-eyed. Phone glued to Brandon. Teach me drag, cuz. Mom even unearthed Dad's old ornaments. The ones she'd boxed away. Tarnished stars. A wooden soldier Michael had carved at 10. But under the tinsel, fissures lingered. Uncle Ray cornered Michael in the garage mid-afternoon, breath reeking of spiked punch. This city's what? Turning him soft? And you parading that situation. Michael's fist clenched around a wrench. Alex is solid. Brand's happier. What's your excuse? Ray's face purpled. Protecting the name. Your grandma's legacy. Is love? Michael snarled, stepping close. Not your bigotry. Stay out, or you're the one walking. Ray stormed off, but the seed of doubt sprouted. Whispers at the family brunch. Aunt Clara's pitying pats. By evening, as fireworks popped over the fields, Michael slipped out with Alex, porch swing creaking under their weight. Heavy day, Alex said, lacing fingers. Understatement. Michael leaned into him, the solid warmth a counter to chaos. You sticking around for this circus? Alex tilted his chin up. Kiss soft. For you? Anywhere. Their goodbye stretched to dawn. Lazy explorations in the guest room. Whispers mapping futures. Move to Chicago, Alex urged, tracing tattoos Michael didn't have yet. We could build something. Temptation warred with roots. Soon, Michael promised, but the word tasted like deferral. January thawed the snow, but not the undercurrents. Work piled. Engines coughing winter blues. Coworkers' sidelong glances. Michael buried in overtime. Alex's calls a lifeline across the miles. Brandon dove into commissions, portraits for a local queer collective. His dress a staple at open mics. Mom tiptoed progress. A pride sticker on her car. Ally. Not enemy. Dinners where Brandon's Theo stories earned eye rolls. Not silence. Yet betrayal brewed subtle. Michael caught it first in a text from Jenny. Uncle Ray's talking smack at church. Says Brand's influence ruined you. Heart sank. Ray. Poisoning wells. Confrontation brewed at the Super Bowl party. Hargrove style. Wings and brews in the basement. TV blaring tackles. Ray arrived late. Face florid, clapping Michael on the back too hard. Heard you're shacking with that foddig. Experiment over. The room hushed. Jenny's eyes wide. Michael's beer sloshed. None of your business. Ray guffawed, drawing nods from cousins. Family is. Can't let the fairy dust spread. Brandon, across the sectional, rose slow, face storm dark. Say that again. You heard. Ray doubled down, egged by liquor. Dresses and dandies. Next you'll have the lot prancing. The punch landed clean. Brandon's fist cracking Ray's jaw, sending him sprawling into the chip bowl. Chaos erupted, shouts. Jenny shrieking, Mom hauling Brandon back. Michael lunged between, shoving Ray upright. Out. Now. Ray spat blood, glaring. This family's cursed. Your dad's spawn. All right, wild and wrong. The door slammed, tires squealing. Silence smothered the cheers from the screen. Mom sank to the stairs, face buried. What have we become? Stronger, Brandon said, knuckles swelling. But done with poison. Michael drove him home, ice pack pressed to hand, radio murmuring blues. You didn't have to, he said. Yes, I did. Brandon flexed fingers, wincing. For you. The look on his face when he saw us unbreakable. Pride swelled, tangled with fear. Ray's words echoed, cursed. Was it? Dad's ghost. Now this fracture's widening. February's chill deepened the rift. Ray's boycott spread. No more Sunday suppers. Whispers at the feed store. Mom withdrew, volunteering at church to pray it away. Michael threw into Alex weekend escapes to Chicago, where anonymity let him breathe. One night, post-gallery opening, they wandered Grant Park, skyline glittering like fool's gold. Marry me, Alex joked, dropping to knee in snow, ringless but earnest. Or at least, move in. Michael's laugh caught. Slow down, shutterbug. Indiana's got claws. Alex's eyes dimmed. It's got you trapped. The barb stung true. Back home, Michael found Brandon packing, duffel bulging, sketchpad peeking. Theo's got a couch in Bloomington. Gig at the college. Time to fly. Panic gripped. Without me. You're rooted, bro. Mom needs her rock. Brandon's hug crushed. But visit. Drag brunch on me. He left at dusk. Taillights fading like Dad's. Michael stood in the empty loft echo. Ghosts multiplying. Mom's calls went unanswered. His texts to Alex curt. Work blurred days. Nights scrolling grinder. Anonymous hookups in truck stops. Chasing the high without the heart. Just release. He lied to mirrors. Climax crested mid-March. A call from Alex. Voice edged. Saw pics. You with some rando at a motel. That us? Michael's gut dropped. It's nothing. Stress. Bull. You're running scared. Hurt laced Alex's words. I love you, Mike. But I can't chase shadows. Love. The word detonated. Michael paced the trailer. Walls closing. Yeah. Me too. Then fight for it. Click. Dawn found him packing. Tools crated. Lease broken. Mom answered the door hollow-eyed. Going somewhere? Chicago. For real. He pulled her into arms. Her sob soaking his shirt. Come visit. We'll make new traditions. She nodded. Fierce. Tell Ray to go to hell from me. The highway unspooled freedom. Wind whipping through open window. Texts pinged. Brandon's proud. Bro. Beers soon? Alex's doors open. Heart 2. But fate swerved cruel. Detour for gas. Phone buzzing unknown. Jenny, accident. Brand's car. Hospital. Bad. Heart seized. Michael floored it. Miles melting in terror. Bloomington ER loomed. Sterile white swallowing him. Jenny waited. Tear-streaked. Drunk driver. Theo's with him. Brandon lay bandaged. Face bruised. Eyes fluttering open at Michael's voice. Hey, hero. Told you. We'd glue pieces. Relief choked. Shut up. You're stuck with me. Theo hovered. Hand in Brandon's, tattoos vivid against pale skin. He asked for you first. In the waiting room hush, Michael called Alex. Come. Please. Family emergency. Arrival hours later. Alex. Bag slung. Pulling Michael into shadows. What happened? Bran. Emia's. Crashing hard. Michael clung. Words spilling. The fight. The flight. The fear. Don't let go. Never. Alex's kiss sealed it. Fierce. Recovery wove them tighter. Shifts at Brandon's bedside. Mom arriving tearful with pie. Even Ray's reluctant card. Get well. We'll talk. Spring bloomed outside. Dogwoods pink against blue. Mirroring the healing. April's rains softened Indiana's edges. Turning fields to mirrors that reflected skies of bruised purple. Brandon's discharge brought him home. Not the loft, but the ranch house. Mom's insistence a quiet victory. The guest room became his studio. Canvases unfurling like flags of truce. Portraits of Alex midlaugh. Theo's inked arms cradling a coffee cup. Michael's grease-streaked hands wrenching fate's bolts. Therapy on canvas, Brandon quipped. But his eyes held depths. The wreck scar, a jagged line on his collarbone, a badge of survival. Michael shuttled between worlds. Weekdays in the garage. Oil his therapy. Weekends Chicago-bound. Alex's apartment a sanctuary of exposed brick and bay windows overlooking the loop's hum. Their routine solidified, farmers' market mornings. Fingers sticky with berry juice. Evenings tangled in sheets. Alex's camera capturing Michael's unguarded sprawl. Body a landscape of freckles and faint scars from boyhood brawls. My muse, Alex murmured, lens clicking soft. But love's bloom carried thorns. One rainy Saturday, post-brunch crepes, Alex scrolled his phone, face clouding. Your uncle's at it again. Posted on Facebook, pray for our wayward boys. Devil's in the details. Michael snatched the device. Venom rising. Ray's profile. Photo of a Bible. Caption dripping judgment. Comments piled. Amen, brother. Keep the faith. Aunt Clara's heart emoji. Jenny's conflicted like. Son of a bitch. He slammed the counter. Coffee sloshing. Alex's hand cooled his. Block him. Or better, confront. No. Michael's jaw set. Not yet. Brand's healing. Mom's fragile. Fragile. The word fit Mom's new normal. She joined a support group. PFLAG. Brandon's nudge. Emerging with brochures and a tentative rainbow pin on her purse. Dinners evolved. Questions about Theo's poetry slams. Chuckles at Alex's city boy mishaps with the deep fryer. But nights. Michael caught her at the kitchen table. Dad's photo album open. Fingers tracing absences. You're leaving again, she said one evening, as he packed for the city. Not accusation, resignation. Temporarily, he zipped the duffel. guilt gnawing. Alex's got a darkroom set up. Teaching me Prince. She nodded, but eyes pleaded. Don't vanish like he did. I won't. Hug fierce. Her perfume Chanel knockoff. A tether to roots. The betrayal deepened layers later that week. Michael, elbow deep in a transmission, got the call from the dealership owner. Hargrove. Office. Now, Mr. Ellis, paunchy and pious, steepled fingers over a printout. Ray's doing, no doubt. Complaints. Customers uncomfortable with your lifestyle. Church crowds pulling business. Michael's laugh barked bitter. Lifestyle? I fix F-150s. Not parade floats. Perception matters. Ellis shrugged. Take leave. Sort it. Leave unpaid. A velvet hammer. Fury propelled him to Ray's farm, gravel crunching under tires like bones. Ray leaned on the fence, milking a cow pastoral bullshit. Knew you'd come. You poisoning my life? Michael vaulted the rail, fists balled. Jobs? Family? For what? Your savior complex. Ray straightened, wiping utter residue. Truth. You're blind. Boy. That dress started at Satan's wardrobe. Now you're next. Chasing skirts? No, chasing sin. The swing missed. Ray ducked, countering with a haymaker that grazed Michael's ear. They grappled, mud slicking shirts, grunts echoing in the barn. Stop! A voice, Jenny's, whipping from her truck. She waded in, shoving them apart. Uncle Ray, you're the devil here. Ray stilled, face crumpling. Protecting us. Jenny's eyes blazed, braces flashing. Brand's art's in a gallery. Michael's happy. You're alone. Hating ghosts. The words pierced. Ray sagged against a post, defeated. Your grandma warned me. Don't let pride eat you. Michael wiped bloodied lip, chest heaving. Then stop. Or lose us all. He drove off, Jenny's arm around Ray's shoulders a fragile bridge. Home. Ice to jaw. He called Alex. Lost the job. Ray's warpath. Fuck him. Come here. Permanent. The offer hung. Lifeline or noose. Brandon. Hearing later over takeout. Mom's meatloaf. Upgraded with Theo's mushroom gravy. Squeezed his shoulder. Go. I'll hold the fort. Theo nodded. Quiet strength. We're planning a spring wedding. Small. You officiate. Laughter lightened. In a dress. Only if you insist. May bloomed defiant. Dogwoods shedding petals like confetti. Michael gave notice. Crated tools for storage. Mom's goodbye brunch. Pancakes stacked high. Tears sugared. Ended in promises. Weekly calls. Visits. I'm learning Zoom. Chicago embraced. Alex's lease co-signed. A one-bedroom in Logan Square with fire escape views of hipster bustle. Unpacking unearthed relics. Brandon's sketch of the swing set. Framed. Dad's pocket watch. Ticking uncertain futures. Nights. Alex traced its chain across Michael's chest. Time for us. Romance deepened roots. Joint shoots in Millennium Park. Michael's amateur snaps earning Alex's proud tweaks. Double dates with Brandon and Theo. Post-wedding, vows exchanged in a Bloomington garden. Brandon's toast slaying. To loves that dress up our souls. But conflict's embers glowed. June's heat wave brought Ray's olive branch. A letter, scrawled shaky. Saw the wedding pics. Jenny showed. You looked happy. Forgive an old fool? Coffee? Michael stared at it over diner eggs. Alex across the booth. Trap? Or redemption? Alex's foot nudged his. Humanity's messy. They met at a neutral Starbucks. Ray early, fidgeting with a grande, flannel crisp. Nervous, he admitted. No preamble. Therapy. Church mandated. Michael sipped black. Wary. Good. Earn it. Talk meandered. Grandma's fading stories. Ray's farm struggles, drought, debts. Pushed you boys, 'cause I failed my own. Dad's brother. The ghost's echo. After he left, I swore I'd hold the line. The lines moved. Michael slid a photo across, him and Alex at the wedding, arms around Brandon and Theo, grins wide. This is family. Ray studied, throat working. Theo, that the tattoo kid? Yeah. Solid. A nod. Slow. Invite me next time? Maybe. Guarded. But thaw. July 4th crackled fireworks over Lake Michigan. Alex's hand in Michael's as bursts painted sky. 1 year, Alex said, pulling him close amid the crowd. From bar stool to this. Best detour. Kiss salty with sweat. Love's firework blooming internal. August tested. Alex's gallery show. His Rust Belt series. Michael featured anonymous in grainy shots. Opening night buzzed. Critics murmuring. Brandon's piece sold on site. A dress-clad silhouette against Indy skyline. But a familiar face in the throng. Mom. Tentative in sundress. Jenny towing her. Drove up. She beamed. Hugging fierce. Proud. Ray came too. Peripheral. Coffee since then evolving to lunches. Apologies layered thick. Learning. He grunted over burgers. Passing ketchup. Slow as molasses. Brandon, arrived for the weekend, clapped his back. Molasses builds character. Fall whispered change. Leaves turning crimson echoes of that dress. Michael's darkroom side hustle bloomed. Portraits for queer youth, capturing courage like Brandon's. Alex proposed proper, kneeling in the park. Ring simple silver, engraved unbroken. Yes, Michael breathed, slipping it on. Wait right. News hit home. Wedding plans. Small backyard in Indiana. Mom's catering. Invites sent. Theo's folks. Jenny as maid of honor in slacks. Ray tentative RSVP. I'll behave, his note read. But climax loomed shadowed. October gale. Michael driving south for fittings. Radio droning storm warnings. Phone rang, Brandon. Panicked. Mom's gone. Car missing. Ray's place. Heart plummeted. The farm. Ray's truck askew. Porch light flickering. Inside. Chaos shards of mug. Mom's purse appended. A note scrawled on butcher paper. Can't watch the end. Forgive. Our betrayal's knife twisted. Ray, cracking under progress's weight. Spiriting mom away. No suicide note. Panic clawed. Michael dialed 911. Voice fracturing details. Search parties mobilized. Jenny sobbing. Theo coordinating. Alex en route from O'Hare. Hours blurred. Flashlights sweeping fields. Dogs bang. Dawn broke with a shout. Creek bank. Ray's body half submerged. Bottle clutched like anchor. Mom. Upstream on the bridge. Teetering. Dress whipping in wind. Her own crimson. Echo cruel. Michael. Her wail carried. He sprinted. Alex arriving to haul him back from edge. Don't. She collapsed into arms. Hysteric spilling. Ray's confession. Cancer. Stage 4. Hidden the note his despairs lie. He begged me to stay. Said he'd fixed nothing, us, you boys. I couldn't lose another. Grief's torrent. Ray's body recovered. Funeral sparse, church empty. Family huddled in rain. Michael spoke. Voice raw. He tried. Late, but tried. That's human. Mom clung to Brandon. Dress muddied. Your dress. It started the mending. November grade. Healing halting. Chicago felt hollow sans the pull south. But Alex anchored. Therapy sessions tag-teamed. Nights dissecting loss. He betrayed trust, Michael vented. But not love. Brandon's wedding gift arrived. A canvas, Ray's silhouette, hand outstretched to a figure in red. Bridge behind but not broken. Redemption's a dress-up, the card read. December dusted Chicago in powdered sugar. The city a gingerbread sprawl of lights and bundled pedestrians hustling toward warmth. Michael's wedding suit hung in the closet, charcoal wool. Tailored sharp, a promise against winter's bite. But the date loomed not as celebration, but crossroads. Ray's absence a fresh wound. Mom's fragility a reminder that joy courted ghosts. They drove south early. Alex at will. Radio crooning Mariah Carey's highs to counter the lows. Nervous? Alex asked, gloved hand squeezing Michael's thigh. About vows? Nah. About her holding up. Mom had rallied post-funeral. PFLAG meetings doubled. A job at the library shelving dreams. But her eyes carried shadows. Dad's and Ray's layered like onion skins. The ranch house glowed. Evergreen's garlanded porch. Brandon and Theo stringing lights with Jenny's giggles punctuating. Mom emerged aproned. Cheeks flushed from oven heat. My boys. She enveloped them. Alex included in the crush. Hams on, Theo's recipe. No mushrooms this time. Dinner wove tentative magic. Toasts to Ray's late bloom. Laughter at Brandon's drag rehearsal tales. His bachelor party a Boys Town bash. Sequins shed for slacks tomorrow. Save the dress for your anniversary, Michael teased, earning a throne roll. Night fell soft. Guest room shared. Alex's snores a comfort blanket. Morning broke with chaos. Jenny as makeup artist. Theo fumbling bow ties. Mom's corsage trembling in her fingers. You look whole, she told Michael, pinning it, tears held by will. The backyard ceremony unfolded under a heated tent. Dogwoods bare but strung with fairy lights. 50 souls. PFLAG allies. Garage buddies who'd softened stances. Even Aunt Clara dabbing eyes. Brandon officiated. Voice steady. In a world of leaving, you chose staying. Vows aren't chains, they're bridges. Michael's turn. Eyes on Alex. Green steady. You saw me, grease and grudges, and loved the mess. I vow to build with you homes, art, whatever comes. No more hiding, Alex's. From bar lights to this, you're my focus. I vow your shadows and shines, every frame, rings exchanged, kiss ceiling, cheers erupting, Brandon whooping loudest. Reception spilled joy, hay bales for seats, bonfire crackling stories. Mom danced with Theo, her laugh rare and real. Jenny snapped candids, capturing Brandon's tear-streaked grin. Honeymoon whispered, week in Door County, cabins and quiet, but first, a family huddle by the fire. To us, Brandon raised a mug of spiked cider. Brothers, still. Dresses optional. Laughter rippled, but Michael's gaze snagged on Mom, staring into flames. Penny, he prompted. She stirred, smile wistful. Just proud of the men you became. Without him, your dad, I feared we'd fracture. But you mended us. Not me, Michael said. All of us. Even the hurts. Alex squeezed his hand, ring glinting. Later, alone on the porch swing, their childhood relic, repainted, they swayed, stars pricking velvet sky. Happy, Alex murmured. Whole, Michael leaned in, kiss lingering. You, with you, always. Years unspooled like film reels. Chicago roots deepened. Michael's photo studio partnering with Alex's. Shoots for queer mags blending their visions. Brandon's gallery opening in the city. Dresses woven into exhibits on identities weave. Mom visited monthly. Her library card swapped for L stops. Pride pin joined by a mother of the groom mug. Jenny bloomed artist. Interning under Brandon. Her drag name Sparkle. First performance a Hargrove roast. Ray's farm sold. Proceeds funding a scholarship, Late Bloomers, for queer youth chasing dreams. Mom oversaw it. Her signature on checks a quiet atonement. Anniversaries marked milestones. First with a bar revisit. O'Malley's unchanged. Fifth, vow renewal in the backyard. Brandon emceeing in crimson, full circle. Dad surfaced once. A postcard from L.A. Heard about the wedding. Proud. Michael burned it. Ashes to the Wabash. Alex holding him through the rage. Brandon and Theo adopted. A boy named River. Curls like Brandon's. Questions about dresses met with sketches and hugs. Families chosen. Brandon taught. Michael Uncle NG with greasy-fingered forts. One autumn eve. Years on. Michael found an old sketch in the attic, the swing set, Two Boys Eternal. He framed it anew. Beside wedding photos. Alex mid-kiss. Brandon mid-twirl. Mom mid-laugh. Human. Flawed. Mended. The dress? Folded in Brandon's closet. Worn for toasts and triumphs. A reminder. Vulnerability's silk. Strong as steel. They were brothers. Still blood. Choice. Love forged in absence. And in that forge, they'd built not just survival, but song. In the end, the table wasn't shattered. It was reset. Plates passed. Stories shared. No more hiding hems. Just hearts, bare and beating, under American stars.